Like this stuff.
Go
Yeah.
ahead. There's a lot to unpack there. And some of the things that you said, I actually talk about in my book, right? But I'm going to cover some of the things that you talked about just now. Where do I want to start? Let's just start at the beginning. I was gonna go all over the place and bounce around, but let's start at the beginning. So that you so that's a weakness of an average individual to um allow themselves to be changed, because if they are weak enough and not strong enough to, like, the strong is going to prevail. So what's stronger, the negative individual or the positive individual? Because a positive individual has just as much right to change a negative individual for the better. If they allow the negative to be stronger, then that means that they have some cracks too, and some weaknesses too, that allows them to be exposed, altered, and changed. They're not 100% solid themselves. Their cracks might be something different. They may not be as noticeable. Their cracks might be in their subconscious, but subconsciously there's something there that is affecting them to make best logical decisions and best practices, to where they themselves get changed for the worse. That would be a weakness, not a strength. And that would mean that the negative person was the stronger, as opposed to the positive being stronger, and the strong will prevail over the negative power, right? So who's the most mentally strong person in the room? It must be the negative person in that scenario, because the positive person wasn't strong enough to stay positive and make them positive. They were turned and corrupted by the bad habits of the very individual they were pouring into. Now, continuously pouring into something, people would equate that to insanity, right?
Insanity.
Right? Because if you continue to do the same thing, people know how it go. That's one of the sayings that everybody know, even children.
Mm-hmm.
So don't be insane. If you've been pouring into something long enough, and it's pour into yourself now. It's time to pour into yourself. Again, that would be a weakness and something. If you are able to pour and you have so much to pour, well, maybe it's time to pour some more into yourself, and find places that are pouring into you. Find
Mm.
ways to pour into you. There are other people who would pour into you. There's wisdom and knowledge out there that you can find that will pour into you. Maybe you're not supposed to be pouring no more. Maybe you need to go out and refill yourself and let these better things pour into you, because you might be at a level to where it's now time for you to progress, and quit trying to have somebody else progress. Focus more on yourself and less on somebody else, and go out there and let those things that are pouring into other people and making them better and progress, go let it pour into you. And something that I talk about in my book, besides self-sabotaging, is that some people are just poor receivers. They're bad
Mm.
receivers. Everybody ain't Jerry Rice. They not a great receiver. You caught you feel me? No pun intended, caught. Anyway, I'm on a roll, but some people are bad receivers. If you caught that, get it caught. Anyway, tough crowd. But look, some people are bad receivers. And you know, you could be a great gift giver and want to give and want to give and want to give. But what happens when someone tries to give something to someone and they are a bad receiver, the gift is never fully given in the first place. So it's not that it's a crack and it's leaking. It's that the gift was never received the way it was supposed to be received. So now the reason that the giver's energy changes is because if a giver is not able to give in the way that they want to, and it's not received, the energy is now changed or lost. It's not transferred in the positive way that it was supposed to be. So if someone keeps trying to pour into someone that's not receiving well, they are actually affecting their energy and wasting their energy, wasting their time by continuously trying to be a good giver to a bad receiver. So if you are such a good giver, save that for good receivers, individuals who receive it well. Don't be afraid to say, you know what? I'm not going to give to this person, or I'm not going to give so much of this to this person. I know some people who are better receivers. I'm looking for good receivers, and I'm going to give this to those because that's the natural law, cause, and effect of giving and receiving. But when that gets broken up and it's not received well, that changes the natural flow of things. And that's when a person can become weakened by a toxic individual because they're trying to give to a bad receiver. Change your audience and find you some good receivers.
Mm. You would get that whole TED Talk answer too, wouldn't you, Mr. TED Talk? That was a good answer though. That was a good answer. That's the problem. It's a lot of good people out here, man, that falls victim to people with negative energy, and that's what I like to say, man. You got to watch the vampires, man, because a lot of people are low vibrational, and I like to look at your energy as currency, right? High vibrations is the $100 bills, low vibrations is the dollars, and then your low medium vibrations is the 5 and 10s, and your high medium vibrations, the people who they doing good in life, they real cool, they go through their ups and downs, but they still always pretty much positive, that's the 20s and the 50s, and them people with the hundreds is the ones that, you know, the ones with the hundreds, those the ones who give you the real good energy. Oh, hey man, you're doing good. Don't matter what you do. Hey, keep going, man. You're awesome. And those the people you want in your corner. You need
Yeah.
some high vibrational cheerleaders. Motivators. Get you some cheerleaders. And the cold part is it be the people that you don't know who roots the hardest for you, who go the hardest for you. And the people that's the closest to you who always bring you down. So you got to make sure you know how to watch them vampires, man, because they're out there and them low vibrations is spreading around like pennies in a well. You always can find one. So make sure
Yeah.
your eyes is open.
And that's why I so eloquently said when we was talking about racing, running the race, how do you run your race, that
Mm-hmm.
at the root of it, I just don't give a fuck about nobody else.
That's an art.
Yes, it
That's an
is a
art.
practice. It's an art. You are absolutely correct. It for sure is. And it's a practice of knowing how to care about yourself so much that you protect your energy at all costs, and learning how to focus on you when it is seen as not the norm, or it is seen as not correct. It's not polite to say, I care about myself and I don't give a fuck about what nobody else is doing. You know what I mean?